So I actually started in the marketing department of William Morrow back when that company existed in 1998. I had an interview for William Morrow Marketing and an interview for HarperCollins editorial. Really wanted the Harper job, but I got the William Morrow Marketing. I didn't know what marketing was, but I thought I can't be bad. It's in children's books. So I took that job. And then within 8 months, I had slid over to editorial and we were bought out by HarperCollins. So it was great. I was given an office with a window and a door, which is more than I had in my railroad apartment. And so, I just kept it and worked there under Barbara Lilicki, working on a wide range of projects, but primarily picture books, some middle grade fiction as well, and a lot of nonfiction. And I stayed there till 2007. And then became an agent for Prospect Agency, working with Emily Sylvan Kim. And Prospect, Emily is the owner of the agency, and then there's myself, and there's Charlotte Wenger, who also works on picture books, and Anne Rose, who works on primarily middle grade YA and adult books. And I've been there ever since, really loving what I do, and loving the opportunity to work with both authors and illustrators, developing projects ranging from board books through YA and a few select adult projects as well.
So as we record that, that's what, 15 years, which in publishing time is easily 30, 45.
Right, exactly.
The way the market moves, right? So you must love it.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I've got all kinds of questions for you. The esteemed audience loves a good origin story, and I know I've read elsewhere that you were a big reader as a child. In fact, if your parents told you to stop reading and go outside, you just take your book with you. Is that right?
Exactly. Yes. I always loved reading. I loved writing stories. I had, those big yellow legal pads, and I would just write lots of chapter ones. I didn't get really much past chapter one, but I would be that kid reading in the car. Luckily, I never got car sick, but I would have my book, and then as we would pass a street light, I would try to catch the light on my book and just read as much as possible. Definitely.
Kids today with their fancy electronic tablets with books on them, or
I know
how good they got it.
Right. I would have. Oh, that would have been so probably really good for my eyes too. I would imagine, at least slightly better than trying to squint in the dark and read. But I was born in the wrong era. I don't know, or maybe the right era. I'm glad I got. There's a lot of great stuff with just being able to, the easy access, right? Being able to get virtually any book you want immediately on ebooks or audiobooks, but not the same thrill as going to the bookstore, going to Walden Books and getting your, the latest Christopher Pike paperback rack edition. That's all good stuff.
Well, do you remember what were some of your favorite books from childhood?
Oh, let's see. Well, much to my daughter's chagrin, my favorite book is probably Lois Lowry's A Summer to Die, which is super morbid. I think it was her first book, published in around 77 or so. But it was that era, which is still very popular today in middle grade, of the, someone has to die in the book. And so in this case, it was the older sister. And I don't know. I have a younger sister, so maybe I related to it, but really love that book, and can definitely recite passages of that. But I'll spare you all from doing that today. I also really loved Shel Silverstein's Where the Sidewalk Ends, which I found out, and this will definitely date me, but I found out was published actually on my exact birthday. Like, that was the release date for it. So it was meant to be that I was going into children's books. So yeah, those were some. It's funny because I work on a lot of picture books, but I don't remember reading a lot of good classic picture books as a kid. I feel like I read a lot of the golden books, and I learned to read pretty early when I was about 4, and so I feel like I read those because my mom thought I had just memorized all the books that I owned, which I guess could be possible. And then I guess one day in the car, I said to her, "Oh, what does this mean, Body by Fisher?" And she said, "Well, where did you where did you get that?" I said, "Oh, it says it right here." So then she thought, "Oh, maybe I didn't just have all those books memorized." So she got me a book that I hadn't seen yet, and I read the whole thing. So I guess I could read, but I pretty much went straight from those little golden books, I don't know, then into like Little House on the Prairie. So there's a lot of those classic picture books I don't feel like I read a lot of, but I can tell you one. Well, I can tell you actually one that I absolutely hated, which was Sylvester and the Magic Pebble, which is it's a classic, right? It won the Caldecott. It's terrifying. His parents sit on him when he's a rock. But I really like, and I haven't found anyone else who has actually heard of this book, but The Paper Party by Don Freeman. Do you know that one? He did Corduroy, which is what he's more known for. But The Paper Party was brilliant. To me, at least, it was about this kid who loved. No, saying this, if I read the submission, there's no way I would take on this project. But it was brilliant as a 5-year-old or whatever. But this boy is watching the show The Dinky Donks, this clown show on TV, and then he's sent to the basement, to this like cinder block basement, and he's in his purple bathrobe and has a bad haircut, and he's sent there while his parents are having a party. He's watching The Dinky Donks, and then this clown pops out of the TV and extends a pink ladder down and invites him to join the show. And I just thought that was amazing. And looking back, you're like, why does he even need a ladder? Like, the TV is not very far off the ground, but it's just the whole portal aspect. And I thought it was amazing. So there you go.
I think I would be so thrilled to climb into a television with most of my favorite characters from childhood, but if it's a clown, maybe a little bit hesitant.
I think the clown was made of paper. Everything in the set and the characters were made of paper. So maybe it wasn't that harmful. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be a little bit. I mean, worst case scenario, you just give a little good tear and it's over.
Right, exactly.